talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
Welcome all. Thanks for waiting. We thought we'd give you all a chance to crack open another beer and maybe enjoy the next match. But boy, are those Souths tripe at the moment. Oh boy. Are we the real deal? Can Lightning strike twice? In a match that certainly lived up to the tag of being the match of the round, we saw the best defensive team go up against the best attacking team in what was sure to set tongues wagging about the Cronulla Sharks' chances. With me tonight to wag those tongues, I've got with me the man who always wears his heart on his sleeve and rides every moment. Lats, how are you feeling after that one, mate?
Yeah, mate. It's a little bit tougher to watch than last week. It was back and forth there for a while. A lot of tries led into silly mistakes and that sort of thing. Had me a little frustrated. I channeled my inner Les there at one point, very close to the end of the first half, where a certain pass went astray and threw the remote across the lounge room. But all in all, mate, was a bit more comfortable over that last 10 minutes. So pretty happy with that, mate.
Good to hear. Good to hear. We've also got with us the non-believer and closet Roosters fan, CK.
I thought he was a closet Sharks fan.
That's right. I'm more concerned about Lats's internal Les, but we'll come to that another time.
But... Inner Les, not internal.
Well,
sorry.
In a great match, buddy. In a great match, can the media put an asterisk on that win?
Not at all. I'll just summarise it with one word, and it's Tommy. That's all we have to say. It's Tommy.
Tommy. That music is killer.
I think they're now. They asked Teddy the question at the end of the game: Are we now the benchmark? Because we're now 4 points clear, currently halfway through Magic Round or 3/4 of the way through Magic Round. I don't know if we're the benchmark. He said we're leading the comp, which I agree. Obviously, another couple of more tests to come up yet, but I think the Roosters they let us in that game with some of their silly errors and silly mistakes, and I'll happily take it. And we shut the door on them, and luckily we did. And I thought our defence again stood up, even though, like I said, it was a bit of a blowout. Like Lat said, there was tries going galore sideways from every player across the park. I still think our defence held up at the end, and that was the difference. So. Let's go. Who cares about tipping? No one cares about tipping. I told you. I'll always take a win over a tip.
Absolutely. Well, we've got our first caller already, so obviously everyone's pumped. So we've got Pierre here. Let's bring him in.
CSSC royalty, this guy.
Hey,
hello, troops. How the fuck are you? Like a double thumbs up, boys.
How are you, mate?
Hit the beat button.
How are you, guys? Okay. How's that bloody barber gets around, doesn't he?
I thought we had two Tom Hazeltons in the studio for a minute.
We did electrical tape for the show.
From my perspective, over this season, we were up against it from the start against the Tigers. We let it lapse. We didn't have our heads on. Last week, I thought that was a great performance, and I wanted 13 against 13. That didn't happen with the refereeing decision with Harry Grant. No way was that a 10 in the bin penalty at worst. There was nothing in it. I liked 13 against 13. Tonight, there was a professional foul. The other bloke got sent off, but we won that fair and square. And for me, tonight's game has been the match of the season. Yep. Both teams put on a great performance and they played to their hearts out. Congrats to us. We got the biggies, and deservedly so. And our strength lies in our bench. For me, that's, second half, bam. You've got Royce Hunt coming on, Big Tour coming on. Talakai has been an absolute standout and match winner for us. So kudos to the bench.
Yep.
Good.
He's scoring more tries at coming off the bench than he was at centre.
Yeah, I said at the start of the season, my lineup was to have Hero in the centres and Talakai off the bench, and that's how it's panning out.
And it's worked well. Showing some loyalty to Hero there, which is good too. So we're looking to re-sign him. So
You're right, Pierre. It was a high quality match, wasn't it? The
it was
completion rate was
cracker of a
high.
match.
Movement of the ball was great. I think both teams could probably hold their head up high. And as we said, I don't think the media can give an asterisk for that one. I think we well and truly deserved that win.
And I dare say our odds are going to tumble for the premiership odds now. What was it? 2 weeks ago we were 13-1.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago, mate, it was 21, firmed into 17, down to 13. Now we'll be probably staring down the face of $5, $7.
As Peter says here, 9-1, so proud, and yeah, it's just taken forever for those odds to shore up, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I think.
Who was your best tonight? And Tommy played well, but
you've got to hang on till the end, Pierre. We can't give that sort of information now.
Can't give the spoilers.
You can give us yours though, Pierre. Who was your best? Who did you rate there? We'll take honourable mentions as well.
Kale Hero, he had freaking blinder. His attack, hitting up the defensive line, plus in defence, I thought he had a great game.
Yep.
Yeah,
now,
he's really taken on that role that the whole back five have taken on, really, and getting us out of trouble. And he just seems to be, making 20 metres nearly every run from the back there, and just getting us out of trouble, giving us some good field possession on that last kick.
Now, speaking of centres for me, tonight Jesse Ramian put his hand up no end for a spot in Origin.
I mean, we're going to talk about Ramian a bit later on. But yeah,
it's a dirty word. It's a dirty word. Look, as lads and I know, we were back in the horse today of Bradman Best to get over for a try. Unfortunately, he went out with a hamstring injury as the New South Wales players continue. So, fortunately, they're going to be looking at our team quite a bit for a few selections. So, I don't want to ruin our season. So,
no. But I would say there's 3 start-up Sharks for the New South Wales spot. McInnes, you can probably make 4, but Talakai's, no, I'd say McInnes, Ramian, and Nico would be my 3 for New South Wales.
Harley, the perennial Sharks cheerleader, has come through and said, winner, winner, chicken dinner. You're right, Harley. You said they would win.
Yeah, Harley. He's got us on a 7-game streak, Harley.
Killing it. Mike comes in and says, I feel like chicken tonight. Very good, mate. Nathan Hunt kicks in. Another big scalp claimed tonight. And SJD, official summary of the match. Yes. Let's effing go.
Bit of emotion there, Fitzy.
Yeah.
it was fired up.
Yeah, Fitzy's having a few beers tonight for sure. All right, Pierre. Did you have any doubts leading into this game, mate?
I did. I honestly did. We've been up for weeks after the Tigers match. We have not historically played well in Brisbane, and I thought if tonight was going to be the loss, or this round was going to be the loss, we'd have to have it. It would have been tonight, but the boys, that was a game of touch, honestly, 60 plus points in 80 minutes. Admittedly, there was our completion rate was greater than 85%, was it? It was somewhere around that mark. And the only error that I can really put my line down to was Will Kennedy, 15 seconds before half time, and the Roosters scored. That was the
Why pass that?
But, it's a hard game. Any team in the NRL is not going to play to 100% completion rate. No one's going to get 100% completion rate. So we've done pretty bloody well, really well.
Yep.
And
at one point in the second half there, we were 11 from 11.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's that just tired them out, and I think got us over the line in the end. Our completion and our handling, the back of a few silly, 6 again, discrepancies and whatnot.
Almost a commentator's curse there, Lats, with that call of 11 from 11. I think it wasn't much long after that that was broken.
But you have a look at that 11. You have a look at the 11 from 11, and then who came on? You had Big Tapua come on and Royce Hunt. Massive go forward for us. And that, to me, turns games in our favour and has for the last few weeks.
Tapua has to be your favourite player, doesn't he, CK? Both a Roosters and a Sharks player?
Yeah, again, it was one of those sort of guys that went out and you could sort of tell it meant a little bit more to him being an ex-Rooster. He kind of played with a bit more of an edge, I sort of thought. Like Pierre said, he came off the bench. He knocked Pauga on his ass pretty quick, sent him his Skitland, and he was given, like, even defensively, he was going after people. So it might have been a little bit of a, hey, look what you let go sort of thing. But, yeah, he was going after bodies. So I was quite impressed with that. Royce, again, just comes on and just wants to break people. So it's non-stop. Like the bench, I think, we keep saying that Talakai was the top of Boldo's tiers, but I think the bench is now the top of the tiers. Like they own the tiers now. Like they just complete that team. And like Pierre said, they come on and we've talked about it for weeks. They come on, they literally, our bench kills any other team's bench, and our bench could start in most teams across the league. So massive difference.
Sorry, Chris, there's also one other thing I'd like to say, and that's our depth. We've still got Jesse Colquhoun out, Toby Rudolph's out. It just gives us that depth. Now, the Jets could probably force their way in. Stone Street on the wing. What happened with Ronnie tonight? Did he get a leg injury?
That was in the last minute. It might have been a cork, I think, because he was walking around on it fine at the end of the match, and trainers weren't too concerned. So
maybe a bit of pickle juice in the last 5 minutes.
Could have also been a bit of gamesmanship to try and run the clock down a little bit. He's fine. He seemed to be pretty happy jumping over chairs and shaking hands with fans in the grandstand. So.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. But that just reiterates that we've got depth, and that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, because we also had Ueli didn't play tonight either, and we've got AFB coming next year, so it's going to be plenty of depth there.
Or sooner.
Or sooner. Watch this space.
That's a very interesting question that you raised. When we get Fanua Blake in next year, do we have too much? We're going to have to offload, or?
I think so. I think we might lose a Jack Williams, possibly, or someone like that. But yeah, they're all putting their hands up. Jack had a good game tonight. I thought he was very strong tonight. He was a bit quiet the last few weeks, but tonight he was on fire. So they're all they all want to be there and put in. It's lovely to watch.
It's really good. All right, Pierre, one last question for you, mate. How do you feel we're going to go next week at home against the Panthers now that there's squarely a target on our back?
That's a great question. I'd like to think that Shark Park is an absolute fucking fortress.
Language.
Given any team that comes to us this year on our home turf, they're going to be backs to the wall. So I've got us penciled in for 22-14 victory. There you go.
There you go. Nice. All right. I like it. Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks very much, Pierre. Really appreciate you coming on and having a chat. You're more than welcome to hang around and fill out the comments with everyone
Thanks
else.
for the invite, lads. And to everyone, stay well and Godspeed.
Brilliant. See you, mate. All right.
Got one in. Got one up in.
Exactly. Yeah. Brilliant. All right. We've got Jakey coming in saying yes, Sharks.
Jake was at the game tonight, actually, with his girls.
Yeah. Oh, was he? All right. Nice.
Yeah. We're a bit worried there because he has a bit of a bad run when he goes and watches at Suncorp, but apparently the Matildas broke that streak where he saw them in that epic penalty shootout win that. So he's allowed back in. We got Magic Day at Magic Round, boys. Best thing about today was giving it to the Roosters fans behind us. Giddy up. That's what we like to hear.
That guy.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, and Williams hit on it. Like we've got a terrible record at Suncorp, so most of our fans that live up Northway go to those sort of games, the Titans or even Suncorp. Don't usually see a win. So
Don't get to,
let's take this one.
Coffs Harbour we
I
go okay, but
don't get to sing the song.
We've got a few comments here that I don't really want to show up, but I think I will anyway. So James comes in and says, "Who will we play against in the World Club Challenge?" Too soon, Coach. Too soon. I don't.
Lee Leopards and Matt Moylan.
Yeah. People talking about the streak as well. Oh no, let's
The mock.
We can't do that.
Stop it.
Do that.
We're the main premiers.
Lats and CK, you can confirm or deny this. Fitzy says breaking. We're $1.65 favourites against Penrith on the TAB.
There you go.
I don't know about that.
Well, they lost another troop today, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah. All right, we have someone waiting in the green room, itching to come in and have a chat, and that is our resident historian, the main man himself, Williams. Come on in, Williams.
Yeah.
Wow. Almost without words. I don't know. I'm struggling to think of a bigger game, a bigger occasion in the middle of a season against a team that, commiserations, Chris, but and speaking to our Queensland friends of the show, I know quite a few people who are up there who, you're right, they don't see many wins, and wow, what a game to go to. My neighbour, he's a big Sharks fan in Kellyville of all places. He went up with all his mates too. I'm very jealous. It looked like a magic weekend to go to in every sense of the word, but the Roosters were red hot despite scoring. I missed the kickoff. I was too busy getting dinner, and the kebabs were late, so I was picking them up, getting the kid, or my 3-year-old, in the car, turn ABC radio on, and Andrew Moore's going off about Nico Hines being composed in a 3-on-1, and I'm like, surely we haven't scored. It's 5:30 and like 30 seconds. Did they kick off before 5:30? Like, that was crazy. And then I eventually heard over him and Luke Lewis getting very, very excited that it was indeed Kennedy that scored. And I got home about 3 minutes later, and my 6-year-old was very excited. And then come right on half time, we conceded 2 tries in 5 minutes, and he would have thrown the remote if it was in his hand, lads. And I was like, settle down, young man. It's like composure and maturity. Composure and maturity is this team personified. Like, we saw glimpses of what they could do in 2022. Yes, we overachieved there. We saw it for sustained periods, but not in the big games. That game against Penrith in 2022, we couldn't hold the ball. If we did, we would have had a similar result. But 2023, obviously, we fell back, but we saw bits and pieces. I'm not going to put the mock on it, so I'm not going to talk streaks. I'm not going to talk analogies to Penrith pre-2020. But wow, you look at the ages in this team. No matter what happens from here on in, even if we don't win a finals match, winning that match and winning last week, winning 2 of those in a row, they will learn so much from that. If we only get one player in Origin that hasn't played Origin before, that's a win as well. This team is so young, with AFB coming in, what we're doing, what we're moving towards. Wow, it's genuinely uncharted territory. And then what this means, like, all I could think of back was to 2016 when we had this, obviously that streak going on, and I remember us beating Newcastle 62-0, and Boldo's response to me straight away was, wow, this one's going to hurt. We are going to make a prelim or a grand final, and this is going to be beyond heartbreak. And I'm not feeling that right now. No matter what happens from here on in, enjoy the ride. Just enjoy each week. I know our illustrious Boldo all the way from London has been going, we've got to talk about the streak, but no, just enjoy it for what it is. We just won at Suncorp for the first time since whatever that was, I don't know, 2020, 2021, COVID times, against Wooden Spoon Brisbane. We've just beaten the Roosters. We just won in Magic Round for the first time since 2019. Chris, you'll talk up how good the Roosters were, but wow, they were on. I actually thought, and I don't know, I've got a bit of a theory that teams that score inside the first minute don't necessarily go on with it. We've been that way in the past. A game at home against Parramatta back in, I think it was 2004, we scored the first minute through a Paul Gallen charge down, and then we got pumped. Like, is this something like that? It's kind of like it pops the pressure valve off the team that scores. The other team gets revved up and comes back. We've been scored on the first minute and come back and won. So, I don't know. It's just, there's so many emotions going around right now. I don't know. It was just, even after the game, like the fact that the huddle, seeing that Ronaldo and Talakai talking again, and everyone just like obviously enjoying the moment, but still, you look in the box, Fitzy and the coaching staff are politely shaking hands and having a little smile to themselves, but knowing that this is all part of the greater plan. Yeah, wow. And as you're saying too, with the completion rates in the second half, there was a 10-minute period where we had 5 sets and the Roosters had 10. We outscored them 20-6 in the second half, and it should have been 20-0. We shouldn't have conceded that one. We were caught short a few times. We've got plenty of improvement left in us. The best part was how frustrated JWH was. That penalty, that should have been a penalty 3 different ways. It was a high shot, he was lying all over him, and then he stuck the boot in. Like, I was waiting for the referee to go, what are you waiting to rip his head? Like, you're waiting for him to go, like, full, like, Adrian Morley and knee him in the belly when he's off the ball and send him off and suspend him for 12 weeks. God, he's a grub. Like, I'd love him if he was our grub, but far out. Like,
I'll tell you, it was interesting watching the Roosters getting so frustrated because they haven't been in that situation in the past month, and they didn't know what to do. It just put them right off their game plan in the end.
Crichton, 2 errors that were his own errors, and each time like challenge, and he's blown up the ref, and then challenge, he's gone, nah. He knows he's dropped it.
Yeah.
They're frustrated. That actually, we talk about terrible challenges. That challenge by Ronaldo, genius. Like, we were all calling for it. Warren Smith was calling. Even Corey, back anyone but the Sharks, Parker was calling for it, kind of thing. It's everything. Well, not everything went right tonight. We could have. It could have been easier, but wow, we turned up. And the Roosters were on, what was it, 18 offloads to 0 at one stage. I think the stats were something like 22 ineffectual tackles or 22 missed tackles to 4 at one stage, things like that. So the Roosters are a very good team. We will learn a lot from it despite the win, I think.
Absolutely. Very much, very true. Well, we've got another caller come in here, so I'm just gonna green screen you for a little bit, Williams, but hang around, mate. We'll bring you back.
I don't know if again. I'm on a timeline, gents, but anyway, all I will say in closing is Godspeed to you guys. But
give us your man of the match then, if you're not going to stick around.
Man of the match. I'm actually going to say Nico. I know it's cliche, but that composure and maturity again. That kick out of the full. Gosh, miskicked it completely. It went almost into Rosette, but then to play similar kick down the line, I don't know what Tedesco was thinking, but obviously I don't know if it's the shape on the kick. You can't quite see from the 2D angle at the side. It would have been good to see a kick from like the end. I think he probably had some curve on it. Tedesco's obviously gone, that's in Rosette again. That's curved in and made him look like a fool, and it was a cracking 40-20. So that, and just the composure from Nico as well. I was worried about him coming in and overplaying his hand. Didn't at all. The side point, the media, obviously they're singing our praises now, right up to anything, including a grand final loss, they will say they are vindicated. So you can't look at the media. I think we're already winning that, like our own game here. Play your own game. Don't care. You'll have asterisks will be mentioned next week if and when we beat Penrith. I'm not sure. It's a big, like Penrith is still very good without Cleary. As Pierre said before, we're due an off week or weeks. That's all part of the journey. But if and when we do stumble, then maybe next week, it might be in 10 weeks' time, the media will be out to get us, and that's okay. Just play our own way. I hope the team's the same. I'm sure Fitzy's got them on a media blackout. But yeah, I'm liking how they're looking.
Brilliant. All right, mate. Well, thank you for calling in and giving us your 2 cents. Hopefully you catch up on delay or something if you've got something better to do.
I will.
Which I can't imagine what that could be. But anyway.
Hopefully the kebabs, were well worth it.
They were. I'll give them that. They were.
Listen, I did the same, Williams. I walked in 5 minutes late, hadn't listened to the radio, walked in and went, 6-6. I was like, I've only missed like 3 minutes. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, and I'm like going to my phone, it says like Kennedy 0 minute, Dominic Young 1 minute 30. And I was like, what the hell happened in this game? Like, it
is impossible to. I'm going to call it the NRL website. That is impossible to score in the 0 minute. It is the first minute. The 0 minute.
Well, Lats did message me and said Kennedy, and I sort of pulled up in the driveway, and I was like, oh, well, at least we scored first. Like, walk in. I'm like, hang on, 6 apiece. I'm like, I literally looked at the clock. It was the 35th minute. I was like, what is going on? So, yeah.
I may have got a message from someone in Brisbane who was very excited, who we do know, who we went to the grand final with in 2016, who's messaged me like, before I even got to my car going, grand final tickets, please. Yeah. Like, what are you on about? And turn the radio on. Yeah, so anyway, enjoy, guys.
All right, brilliant, mate. Take care.
See you, mate.
See you.
See you, mate.
Yeah. All right, here is Annalise.
Hey, up Cronulla.
On the wines.
Where's that creepy guy in the background? Where is he? Get him out there. I know he's somewhere in the background.
Is he holding you captive?